Richard,
Hi,
tell
mate.
me,
How you
talk to
doing?
me. What on earth have we just witnessed?
I don't know. How good of an afternoon have you had? That's the first question.
Me? I mean, I
Yeah.
always find I can always find the silver lining of Manchester United losing games of football and Pep Guardiola having a tricky time of it.
Okay, at this moment in time, I can't. I'll tell you what, because I'm 67, I don't mind admitting to my age. So I remember the old times of when we had different managers, etc., etc. But I'm very, very shocked that they've stuck with Bruno Fernandes, and there is one very, very basic reason why.
Go on.
When it's good, it's great, and that's what you want in a player and a captain. But when anything goes wrong, he downs tools. He always downs tools. He throws hissy fit. And when your captain, the leader of your team, drops a hissy fit, all the other players drop their mode. Have you noticed how many times that's happened over the last 2-3 seasons? Every time. It doesn't just happen just once, twice. It's happened over and over again. The first thing I would do, if I was the Man United manager, I'd get rid of him. And I'd get someone of the ilk of Brian Robson, Roy Keane.
Quite hard to find, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's the dream, isn't it? That you go and sign one of the most iconic or two of the most iconic players that have ever played for the club.
You need excuse me, this is Man United. You need iconic players. If you're not an iconic player, why bother go to Man United? I'm sorry, this is one that I've got to disagree with you totally 1 billion %.
I mean, that's the beauty of football. That's the beauty of football, Richard, and that's why I love having this conversation. But I feel like I disagree with every word that you've said. Ruben Amorim taking off Bruno Fernandes while losing 3-2 is inexplicable to me. If you want a goal, if you want an assist, if you want a key pass, surely Bruno Fernandes is the most likely to provide that for Manchester United.
Can I turn that round on its head, if I may?
Of course.
Because why did he take him off? Because he was not influential. He took him off because he was a bit part player.
He scored.
So he wanted. He scored. It's okay. Anybody can score. But the reality is that if you're not playing great, you can score anything in any match at any minute, in any time, in any second. But if you're not playing great, take him off.
I mean, I'm hearing what you're saying. It's just not how I see it. Do you not think that Bruno Fernandes, is this a fair sentence? Bruno Fernandes is the best player at Manchester United currently.
And that is so sad. If he's the best player, the rest of them are absolutely CRAP. And I'm not going to say, I'm just going to say, in fact, honestly, swear to God, if that is the best that Man United have got, don't you think they need to just get rid of the whole squad and start again from
potentially that's true. Potentially we need to have a broader conversation about what's going on at Manchester United. We have a big conversation about the issues in recruitment over the past half a decade.
Okay.
But equally, surely the best player that they have at the club today, the most likely player to get them back into the game against Nottingham Forest, the most likely player within their camp that could provide the goal or the key pass, Amorim took him off.
And that, I'll go back to my second answer to what you said, because he's not as good as people think he is. I'll tell you what, I've watched Manchester United. My first team is West Brom because I live in West Brom. West Bromwich Albion. I've lived there. But since when Man United started on the European Cup route, I started supporting them as a second team. And I've supported them ever since. So they've suddenly, I'm sorry for West Brom, but I've suddenly become a Man United fan. And so I see all the rubbish that's going on at the moment. And the thing that I see most is that they buy second-rated players because it's the thing to do. Hang on, this is a good player. Let's buy him. This is a good player. Let's buy him. They don't look into the background of the player.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great, Richard, because this is the beauty of football, isn't it? When we have conversations about football, this is what it is. I think that Bruno Fernandes is Manchester United's most mercurial player, Manchester United's best player, Manchester United's answer, Manchester United's most likely player to create havoc for the opposition defence. Not everybody agrees, clearly. David, what do you think to that?
Rory, hello, mate. How are you?
Very well, mate. How are you?
I think, not happy. I'm just coming back from the ground now. I think that last fan needs to stick to supporting West Brom. Although what I will say, we were all surprised. Me and my brother were sat in the Stretford end. We were surprised that Bruno came off. I agree with what you said. When you're looking for something, when you're looking for a pass, Bruno should be the man. Listen, my main point phoning up was I just think that people need to get a grip. I just think that Amarin's not Harry Potter. He's not Paul Daniels. He hasn't got a magic wand. He's not just going to steam in there and solve things overnight. I honestly think that Ten Hag fought badly. I think he's brought a lot of problems on the club. I almost think bringing Bruno off was Amarin trying to find something, trying to do something he's new. I would rather he do things and try things than just sits there and does nothing.
Dave, do you think that there's potentially, like, I was trying to think of the reason for taking him off. If there is a way of working it out, just trying to rationalise it, is it a good thing to just make sure that nobody in the squad thinks that they are indispensable?
Yeah, well, I think you're right there. I think there's a little bit of that. I don't think in an ideal world you want to bring Bruno off, because obviously I agree with you, he's been our best player over the years. I know he hasn't been great and he dips in and out of form. I just think that that's part of Amarin getting a feel for the club, trying things. You saw the way that we kept the ball against Arsenal for the first half. The players listened to him. He has got a plan. Granted, today it went out the window. And let's have it right. Nottingham Forest have started very well. They started very well. They were going to make it hard for us. Well, I don't know about Bruno. Like I said, I was surprised that we took him off. But look, I mean,
David, earlier on, I suggested that thethere's David. I suggested that there are 4 players within the Manchester United squad that are actually good enough to represent the iconic badge that is Manchester United. Do you think that's harsh, or does that stat trouble you because it's actually true?
I think there's some truth in that. I think there's a lot of players that we won't see moving forward. I think that's all about Amarin, and like I said, it's all about him working that out. And I think that's why you're seeing people like Anthony, like Tyrell Malacia. You see him, he's just arrived. He is working it all out. Are the players good enough? Yeah, I mean, well, that all comes back down to the recruitment of Ten Hag, right? That all comes back down to, we get rid of David De Gea, the Golden Glove winner, and bring in Unana, Anthony.
It's poor. Do you know what it was? It really hit me today, David. It really hit me today. Just the quality of goals that you conceded, like the lack of quality within those goals.
Yeah,
what was that?
Well, I quite like the 3 we played at the back today as well, which is worrying.
Yeah,
I thought the 3 at the back should be the 3 that we play.
Yeah, I know.
And then all of a sudden we go and defend like clowns for a couple of goals. It's a tough one to take again. I'll have to go to work on Monday and take it all. I look forward to it.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.